Hello everyone. Hi. It's very nice to meet you. My name is Floof. I often go by a moniker of either Nexos Floof or something similar, but generally anywhere you see me, I go by Floof. It's very nice to see you. Today, I'm going to be teaching you guys about GENESTEALER cults. Note, real quick, come here. Listen. This is going to be my first time doing a video like this. I've streamed for many years off and on, so I have experience with that kind of thing. So to make it more comfortable, we have chat going on, we've got all this kind of stuff. I will be trying to upload the VOD either to YouTube or just keep it up on the channel, and we'll go from there. Okay? Sounds good. Sounds great. If you guys have any questions, I will be taking questions during the entirety of the stream. Although we do have a bit of a schedule I would like to keep. So, without further ado, I want to just kind of generally start off by talking about what GENESTEALER cults is to me at least, and explain who I am with GSC. So, GSC to me is one of, as we all kind of know, is one of the more niche armies in the game, correct? I think we can all agree on that. It is, I think, the lowest pick rate if Death Watch wasn't bad. And I love its uniqueness. I don't think it plays like any other army in the game. I don't think it does any other type of general thing. Well, okay. We do have some things to where other detachments are given what I like to call GSC detachments. You have Grey Knights, you have Hypercrypt Necrons, Vanguard Marines, Vanguard Tyranids. I think it's also the Vanguard detachment there as well. Either way, a lot of these detachments that do deep strike shenanigans and kind of go uppy downy. I've always seen GSC as a primary denial army. It is one that its game plan is to fuck up your opponent's game plan, and it is really weak into armies that just have a pretty simple or easy game plan, I feel like, or ones that just don't. They just turn head off, no thinky, we go forward. That being said, I'm here to talk to you about some of the things that I have encountered and some of the things that I have picked up over the years. I've been playing them since roughly around the start of 9th edition. I've got 2 editions right now. This is my this season is my 2nd year of trying to be competitive with GSC. Last year I ended in I want to say 10th place in terms of all GSC players around the world. And then as of right now, for the past 2-3ish months, however long it's been, since February, which would be 2 months. Is it 2 months? It feels like it could be longer. Either way, regardless, since the new season has started, I have been. Let me turn this down just a wee bit while I talk. Oh God, not that much. Anyways, I have been the #1 ranked GSC player. Now, take that with a grain of salt. Most European and Eastern countries don't use the ITC rankings or anything like that, and it's mostly just been RTs. However, I do have 3 GT wins in total with them. I feel that I am one of the more just staple players. I talk to people all the time about trying to help them with stuff, and I just want to put that forward to help you guys today. So, with that, I think we're ready to get into it. Now, I've got this broken down into 3 scenarios. The first scenario I want to go into is going to be, and I'm going to be using Tabletop Simulator for this just because it's the easiest way to do it. I'm not the best at it. I had a friend show me just so I could hang out with you guys and kind of show you all this kind of stuff. So, I've done my best, all right? Now, I've got what I consider a pretty stereotypical deployment here. I wanted to pick out something that I could show immediately, a couple tricks for you guys. So this list is one of the ones I like to use a little bit more. I like to think that I'm the lead pilot for this. At least I've gotten the most results with Neophyte Swarm. This is 100 Neophytes, 20 Acolytes, some cars, some characters, that's about it. Now, over deployment, I wanted to pick Votann to help show you guys a little bit for scouting, and one of the things I like to do with this infiltrate enhancement that you can use really well to help kind of block out your opponent. Now, as you'll see here, this unit, what I like to do is I like to take a Clamavis, okay, and I will give him Inscrutable Cunning, which is the enhancement that allows you to infiltrate the unit he's attached to and give you a 4-up CP refund. Now, if you'll notice, I wanted to pick the most difficult deployment that you can do this on to show that even on Search and Destroy, you can effectively screen out most of the DZ. Now, there's some areas right in here and right in here to where if your opponent still also had some infiltrators, they could drop them here, but you're screening out a lot. This is going to be massive for Space Marines if they do have any kind of infiltrator units. Any armies realistically that want to set up in the midboard. I know Tyranids can have some stuff, I believe, with the Vanguard. And just, it is a good thing to do that if you get Defender, or if you get Attacker and your opponent just doesn't realize you can do this, your first deployment should be this giant string here, okay? It's even better on Hammer and Anvil, Sweeping Engagement, Dawn of War, anything like that. 20 Neophytes, all you need to do is Dogbone right here, and then 2 inches for everything else, okay? Now, normally, what you want to do at that point is, once you're fully deployed, any other army, I like to use the Primus redeploy. I will pick this squad up, and I will bring it back, or I'll just put it in Deep Strike. If they're not a Deep Strike heavy army and I don't need the Clamavis, back it goes, right? But I wanted to pick this because I think that we can immediately start off by talking about how GSC can be conceived as a sacrifice army. I am trying to out-attrition you, especially with Cult Ambush, and this can be a very risky play because you're not guaranteed to get these resources back, and it will punish you if your opponent takes Assassinate. But with proper list building, and also just, sometimes you gotta accept that you're not gonna roll the 3-up, you can leave these guys here. What this does, right? We're going against Votann right now. This unit scouts. This Sagittar scouts. This Sagittar is going to scout. This Bike Squad's going to scout. A lot of Votann lists have more than just 2 Sagittars, although I've been seeing them pilot more towards the land fortresses. Either way, this is also really good into World Eaters. And also, I've seen a lot of formations of Tau, like the MSU Tau builds that have a lot of scouts with their Pathfinders and all that. Yeah, I would personally, as we are right now, I have it set up to where this Reductus is going to be outside of 12 if this guy moves up. Or I might have moved her, she might need to be here or something like that. But essentially, if this guy moves up, he can't shoot her because of either the corner or he just isn't in range. And then everything else is just stopped from scouting. And that's a huge advantage when playing against Votann, okay? Say you go first, right? You can, of course, do the thing to where you walk up, you move your 6, shoot a bunch of stuff, maybe charge a Sagittar, and now everything is even closer. Sure, that's fine. It's also, I personally think the whole value is in just stopping that scout, right? You've taken a lot of their initial movement out of the way. When do you decide to leave them? Also, where's the Icon plus Primus placed? Okay, so for this Neophyte squad, I don't run a Primus in this squad. I think because if I'm going to leave them, losing a Primus is massive. It is a huge loss, right? The Clamavis, I don't really care, At most in these matchups, if they're bringing a bunch of Hearthguard, I can pick up this squad, put them right here, and just, shoot a bunch of stuff throughout the rest of the game. The only time I leave them is honestly if my army, or if their army relies on scouts. And then I always, every time I attach a character, I imagine that these two are locked together. This cult icon and whatever character this is, whether it's the Primus, whether it's the Nexos, whatever the hell, These two are best friends and do not want to leave each other's sight. That being said, or here, let me give you some examples, okay? So say your opponent comes up and he moves a bunch of stuff and he goes, wee, I'm gonna put pressure over here and come over here and all this kind of stuff. And these bikes will actually, I'll have them, I don't know, pull away or whatever the hell, maybe come over here. And he just is like, okay, I'm gonna force my way this way and this is how I'm going to set up, right? Maybe he wants these, oh Jesus. Maybe he wants the Sagittar here and he'll drop some guys off to be on this point and these bikes come over here and go plap. Who knows, right? If he starts to shoot in a way to where I can do something to where, say he shoots the land fortress, kills a bunch of guys. All these dudes we just kill. All these guys we just kill. And say we leave ones that can't be shot, right? If it's just this is phenomenal. If I'm just left with like a couple guys and no one else can see to shoot and my opponent's messed up, now obviously in this situation this person could have just been like, here, bikes are gonna go here and blow you up. I'm just saying this is more of a generic thing. If this were to come up to where you find a spot to where they don't have guns on this, you just pull everything else, you know. Maybe like these guys over here live, but he doesn't have any other guns that can shoot this. I'm just gonna pull this to coherency, and then I'm gonna survive with these guys. And what they're gonna do, they have a 6-up leadership. They're probably going to make their leadership check, right? I'm gonna walk them up here and I'm gonna regenerate D3 plus 3 and I'm gonna start being a fucking menace. Or I'm gonna come this way and I'm gonna regenerate D3 plus 3 and be a menace and like maybe charge these bikes, take the point and just sit on it, you know? You want to be annoying. Hey, loving the discussion so far. Do you plan to go over other armies going forward? Sadly not a GSC dude. As of right now, I am just a GSC specialist. I consider myself a faction specialist. I might do more videos later on to where it's more generics of 40k, but I'm only making this because I feel confident in my knowledge of GSC to give you guys good information. I think that there are a lot of other factions right now that are more popular and thusly they have more content. And I'm just trying to fill a void. I wish GSC were better, but I'll store this info for when I fight your kind. Absolutely. That's another thing. The opponents of GSC, if you don't know what GSC does, you can also learn a lot from this video. You can understand what we're doing, so good on you. Anyways, so if I keep these guys together, and also if this is a Primus as well, maybe on a drop turn, you know, they only left a couple guys, that's even better, because then, you know, the 3 you bring back, say we do something like this, right? We move our 6 and say it's something like this. Cool. D3 plus 3, I'm going to bring in this little field to bring some seismic cannons. I'm going to shoot into the bikes or maybe get some damage on the Sagittar with the full rerolls, and then maybe I charge in to the bikes and boom, I'm here. And now I've taken the point, right? Anyways, getting back to it, another thing I want to go over with deployment as well. If you'll notice, I have acolytes and neophytes right here. Now, I want to preface this because there was recently some discussion to where whether or not this is allowed to be done. I have done this at LVO, I've done this at BAO, SoCal Open, major events, GTs. From what I have seen, we have a stratagem that says at the end of my opponent's turn, I can pick up 1 unit or 2 battle line units. I have these here specifically to do that if my opponent goes first. The reason being is that if they go first, I can bring these guys up, and with the Leviathan mission set rules, these guys did not start in reserves. They did not start the battle in reserves, which means they can come down any turn. It's also why we can come down turn 4 and turn 5, I think. It's a little confusing, it's over a bunch of different stuff. Just hear me out on this, okay? The reason I want to do that, my opponent went and did all this stuff, right? He killed these neophyte units and I kind of stopped a lot of his initial movement. Cool. I'm going to come, and with these acolytes, I'm going to come from 3 inches out. I'm going to put these guys on a point, maybe blow up the Sagittar, maybe blow up the land fortress. If you put out guys right here, I'm gonna have the hand flamers go here. I'm gonna have the demo charges go into this land fortress. I'm gonna have these neophytes also drop and put some damage somewhere. Maybe I take out a bike squad. Maybe I take out the Sagittars. It's basically our version of an alpha strike, right? World leaders can charge you if they get their scouts. I can deep strike you if you go first. Okay, does that make sense? So that's another thing. I like to deploy them in whatever piece of terrain that I can effectively say, hey, we're gonna ignore this little death ball right here. My opponent, no matter how he moved, because I scout blocked him, he did not have lines of sight to get to these neophytes, to get to these acolytes. He couldn't shoot them. Now, to go back to what we were talking about before, there are times to where I will pick up the neophyte squad, the infiltration squad, and this can be done with other things. I want to let you guys know that this isn't just the neophyte squad you do this with. In my experience, it's the most effective because you're doing it with 20 models, and so you can massively screen out a board, and it can be phenomenal. You can do it with aberrants if you have the biophages or abominant running the infiltrate enhancement, which a lot of people do. It's very common. You can do it with pure strain gene stealers. If you're running a 5-man or a 10-man, plop them down, put them in a line, and then pick them up, put them somewhere else, right? It's just something to say, hey, do you have infiltrate? Cool. I want you to get as little value from them as possible. That is a very GSC way of thinking. You want your opponent to always trade down, to always not be able, just be like, I can't really use my rules as effectively as I wanted to, right? You want to stop them in any areas that you can and make it annoying for them to interact with you, okay? I like to consider this like death of 1,000 cuts, you could say it, anything like that. Now, next up, I want to show you our drop turn, okay, or what I'm considering a drop turn. We're also going to swap the scenario a little bit into a Chaos Knights theme, all right? We're going to fast forward a little bit. We're not going to start at deployment, okay? We're going to start as if we had a round or two. Doesn't really matter who went first or anything like that, but say, sure, we went first. Doesn't really super matter. We had like a Reductus right here, a Reductus right here, or the Reductus was back a little bit. That way she wasn't able to get got by the indirect, yada yada yada. We are here right now. I have just finished my reinforcement step against Chaos Knights, okay? They brought a big boy up to the front. They have 2 guys threatening each one, and they have a bunch of brigands in the back, right? Now, if I wanted to, I could say we have this little hidden saboteur. Oh my god, look at that. If I wanted to, say my opponent had a scary Overwatch or something, say it's like a Flamer unit. Say this isn't a Chaos Knight and I'm not playing Chaos Knight. Say I'm playing Space Marines and this is a Land Raider Redeemer. I want to throw out units that are going to bait an Overwatch so that my Acolytes and my Neophytes are protected. In order of movements, I'll do Lone Op characters. Well, actually I'll do Aberrants. Pure Strain Gene Stealers probably before them. So PSG, then Aberrants, then maybe Lone Ops, then Neophytes, and then Acolytes. So the reason why I do that, say I drop a 20-man Neophyte brick, and this guy goes, cool, I'd love to Overwatch that. He has to kill 12 guys before he starts affecting my realistic output into him, right? That's not really a big thing. Okay, cool. Even on the off chance that you roll and you kill all 20 guys, I still have a 40%, 50% chance to get him back if it's turns 3 through 4 or 3 through 5 technically, but 5 doesn't really, you're not really gonna do shit. And if it's turn 1 or 2, I get him back on a 3 up. I'm fine eating that Overwatch. It does suck, especially if there's a character attached to the unit, but it's still something you have to do. The reason why is you want to protect something like these Acolytes, okay? Now, if I'm right, in this deployment, we started with these guys on the board, along with the Ridge Runners, of course. What we have deep struck is this Neophyte squad right here. We've deep striked this Neophyte squad, and we've deep striked these Acolytes. Now, in reserves, because I'm still running Neophyte spam, I'll show another list a little bit later. This is just my passion, my passion list, okay? We have 2 more squads of Neophytes and a squad of Acolytes. I don't think this Clamavis was in the list, so ignore him. And a Kelermorph, okay? Cool, fantastic. Now, let's talk about why I did some of the things I did, all right? If also in Knights matchups or any matchups to where you have high toughness guys, you can put a Primus in these Acolytes. It's fine, truly it's fine. You can also, if you do that, I like rapid ingressing them. That way they can still walk up, throw their bombs at something, and then charge, and you're getting a lot more value from his full rerolls to hit. But that's neither here nor there. We did a 3-inch deep strike, okay? What we're gonna do, we're gonna throw a grenade here. We're gonna do some mortals. We do 3 mortal wounds or 4 mortal wounds or whatever the hell to this Abominant. Cool, fantastic. We're also gonna say, hey, we're gonna throw a demo charge at this. Do you wanna use your 4-up info? He's probably not gonna do it because he sees more lethal stuff coming at other targets. But it's still some damage that starts to chunk him. It's still annoying, right? Now, I wanna go over something. There's a very specific reason why I put my Acolytes like this, why I have this little divot, why these Hand Flamers are even here. I'm not taking this point. He has way too much OC, right? What I've done is I've set it up to where these Acolytes can, with their demo charges, say they blow him up, okay? If this guy moves, I believe they have a 12-inch move. I have it set up to where if he wants to use his strat to go through terrain and go through other units, the back of his base can't fit outside of an inch of my Acolytes. So he can't come over here in the middle and he can't walk forward. All he can do is just go bam and sit there another time. If I'm worried about demo charges taking out this guy as well, maybe I don't put her in front of the Abominant. Maybe I come over here. Demo charges their assault, you can advance her, get her over here, grenade this boy, throw a demo charge at this guy, and then their demo charges go in and blow him up and make sure he's dead, right? You can also throw Hand Flamers here. It's not, it doesn't super matter. If you bring her here, you can grenade strat here, grenade strat for free here, and then demo charge, work on it. That way, these mining lasers here that have been sitting here totally because my opponent just let that happen. Let's say they regen, or I use the strat to 12-inch them. We're not going to get too much into specifics. These mining lasers can also start to do damage, help chunk this down. If you really think you want the big guy gone, you can get the big guy gone. Otherwise, I like to focus on the war dogs. Maybe these lasers go and shoot this brigand right here and try and take it down while these guys take down this stuff over here. Now, we've taken down one, right? We know we can effectively take down a couple a turn. I haven't invested enough to take down everything over here, right? I'll still have to deal with this, but we've got more things that can handle that, right? But over here, I've got 2 Neophyte squads and this Saboteur. Now, maybe for the Saboteur, we leave her here. She's just like towing right here, something like that. Or if you really feel like you need help with the damage, you can bring her out over here to do grenades, demo charge herself, boom. Normally, a Saboteur can kill a War Dog. It's a little rare, but it's absolutely doable. What I would like to do in this scenario, however, is leave her back. We have these 2 Neophyte squads shooting in to kill this War Dog, okay? Or maybe we do have her up, and these guys, these 2 squads, kill this War Dog. And this Neophyte squad gets damage on this Stalker, okay? So you're gone. This Stalker only has what? It's like 8 OC? Or maybe it's even less for the little guys? I think it's 8. Regardless, I have it set up with these Neophytes I've strung out right here. I have a 9-inch charge here. And from how I came in from Deep Strike here, I've got a 9-inch charge here. Oh, well. Dead 10. my bad. Hold on, let me move him up. I'm moving to cheat step. 9-inch charge. Boom, look at that. Phenomenal. I have 2 9-inch charges. If I want to re-roll it, I can, but I have 2 chances to say, hey, all these neophytes are coming in. And then with pile-ins and consolidates, I can just get guys on this point and just be fucking annoying, right? Now we've taken it from here. The war dog has to either fall back or no one else can shoot the neophytes, and it's just a whole struggle, right? If we get in with these guys, it's even better, okay? Because we get some guys to touch here, and then say they fall back to shoot, we just take the ones that are up here, and we still have guys on this side of the wall touching. That still are gonna hold the point in some way or another, okay? Use your OC, use the bodies that you have to your advantage and your opponent's detriment, okay? An average GSC list, like, minimum is rocking 200 OC from just quick math, because you have like 60 neophytes, right? 3 squads of 20. All of those are 2 OC each, right? That's 120 OC. Your acolytes, it's 10 guys. That's 20 OC. You're bringing 2 squads of them. That's 40. You're running 200 plus OC minimum. Use that to your advantage. Throw guys on the point. GSC is fantastic specifically for primary denial, okay? You want to move block your opponent. You don't want to let them have access to different parts of the board. And you want to just also, at any point, make them have to fall back to shoot you. That's taking away one of their activations. If I wanted to, let's say I make a 9-inch charge here, right? We got a bunch of guys on this point. Where the hell is this guy gonna go? Maybe he goes over here, right? He's not gonna be able to push up and affect this side of the board for at least another turn, right? Sure, these 2 guys can turn around and start shooting these guys to clear his home point. But now they're not working over here, right? And say we leave the abomin alive. Kill this brigand, kill this guy, kill that one charged here. He doesn't have the resources to keep going everywhere, right? These guys definitely get killed. Acolytes are gone. Maybe even worst case scenario, the brigand comes and blows up the saboteur, right? That's still fine. We've made it to where they can't physically move their body on to block the objective. So, in one way or another, we can move neophytes on and take it, or the acolytes on and take that point. You are moving in a way that is stopping your opponent from getting as much value as they can. You want their units to just struggle, right? Because here's the thing, our units compared to their units suck. 9 times out of 10, their stat blocks are going to be better. It's just our damage is better. Their survivability, their toughness, their armor save, their wounds, all of that, better than us. And also, because of our regen mechanic, it's probably costed more efficiently, right? Because sometimes we just have two units where there was 1 unit. We have 2 armies where there was 1, right? I can keep making my cult to ambush rolls and have a massive amount of an army. Now that being said, I could roll all 1s and 2s, and now I'm playing without an army rule. Oh well, that's how the dice go. End of the day, it's a dice game. We can only do what we can do, right? Sometimes the dice just decide we lose. Sometimes they just decide we win. What we want to do is make it to where we're rolling more dice and the opponent is rolling less dice. Because the more dice we roll, the more chances that we roll hot, right? So we want to be shooting the most, we want to be charging the most, we want to be fighting the most, we want to be doing everything the most and just constantly touching them and just like putting up like just a little wall, as if you're taking like a little cardboard and just being like, hey man, no, I'm just gonna shove this in your face and be annoying, right? Just be annoying. I know that's a very healthy way to talk about a game that we're all here to play, right? Coming in to relax, get a game in with your buddies and just be like, hey, I'm gonna be annoying today. Isn't that great, guys? Your friends are gonna love it. Anyways, we're gonna move on to my last scenario, which is I want to talk about stratagem usage, right? And also we're going to talk a little bit more about neophyte strings as well. We've seen it a little bit to where I'm pulling away, right? Actually, we can, hold on, we're gonna go back to the nice thing because I want to explain a little bit more with the strings, okay? For two reasons. So let's get in here. Back to here, where everything was before. Why do I have this right here, right? I think this guy was supposed to be right here or whatever. Who cares? If Homeboy decides to come through and says, okay, I want to move these guys up to go deal with this, but Homeboy back here, I'm going to go have and deal with him. He's going to charge in. Okay, well, that's a great thing. Tying up GSC is phenomenal. It means we can't go back up into Deep Strike. So he comes in with his Stalker or Melee Boy and just says, I'm going to eat you. Yay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all of these guys. I'm not going to pull every single one. I'm going to leave these two right here, right? Or just one, whichever one he's touching. But everything he kills, I'm going to pull like this. That way he can't consolidate into me. Right? He fights, all that kind of stuff. End of turn, I pull. Yeah, I have to pull to coherency. Boom. Like that. Fantastic. Next turn, however, I'm going to move. I'm going to go somewhere. Hello. I'm going to go 6 inches. I'm going to regenerate 3 models. Get a little bit closer even. And then I'm going to shoot and I'm going to charge. And I'm going to go be somewhere else, right? Or say I'm like, I don't have action monkeys next turn, right? I don't have someone to go press a button for me if I need to. Well, if I pull out with these guys, I can just put them back into Deep Strike, and maybe next turn I have signals, and if it's signals, they drop back down, they hit a button here. If it's deploy teleport homers, they drop back down and hit a button here. If it's something else, maybe just like take a point, right? Maybe I just screen with a bunch of neophytes, drop them down 3 inches away in front of everyone, and just make another screen like we were talking about with the infiltrate, but now much closer, right? There's a ton of things you can do. It opens it up, okay? Same thing here. Big guy comes and he shoots a bunch of stuff. Maybe only kills a couple guys, right? I'm still gonna pull right here. That way I know this blob right here is gonna die and that I am gonna get out of that scenario. I'm gonna get out of dodge and I'm gonna be able to come back up. It's very important to come back up. It's always important. It's one of our best stratagems in the game, okay? Now, we'll go to scenario 3 to just kind of show a little bit more of how we can guarantee that to happen, right? Now, obviously, I wanna make a little caveat right here, a little asterisk, okay? As of right now, this is our best stratagem. This might not be future-proof because GSC is still an index. As of recording, we are waiting for Orcs and Custodies codexes to drop. Tau's still in box set, you know. In a couple months, our best detachment might change. We might get a Rusted Claw, anything like that. I'm just trying to help you with index detachment, and hopefully this detachment stays the same because I love this one. Now, let's get into this. Floof, why are you saying that going up is our strongest stratagem? Well, you read our detachment rule, right? It says when we are set up from reinforcements, we get ignores cover and sustain hits 1. There's also a stratagem that interacts with it, a perfect ambush, +1 ballistic skill, +1 AP, right? It's all of our damage buffs that allow our weapons to punch up, to kill stuff that they shouldn't be killing, right? Because if you look at a seismic cannon, strength 6, 4 shots, 6 if you're in rapid fire, at strength 6, AP 1, damage D3. It is okay, it's alright, but if that suddenly has +1 to hit, if it has +1 AP, if it's ignoring cover, which is basically another +1 AP in this edition, it's so easy to get cover. If it's re-rolling all hits with sustained, that's nuts. Suddenly, I've had times to where I'm rolling 24 dice and I get more than 24 hits. I've had less, yes, it's a game of dice, things spike. You can do math hammer all you want, dice are gonna be dice. Anyways, so, here I set up a what I like to say is a turn 2 for GSC, okay? Say we went first. That's kind of bad for us because we can't do the turn 1 drops and just putting on pressure immediately, right? It's still fine. Keep out of threat ranges. For this example, I chose orcs, okay? Oh boy. The Squig Hog boys, they're a little drunk. So, we just have this as I kind of relaxed. These aberrants I just had move up a little bit to just be just outside of the threat range of the Squid Hog boys. So say maybe my opponents put them up as a little bit of a bait, and then Mozrog's here to, hey, when these aberrants charge, he's going to come over here and they're going to fight each other for a little bit, right? Oh good heavens. Oh good heaven. You know what? He's somewhere here. We can just between you and me, we just know, okay? Now, I've moved the aberrants up because he put a truck right here, okay? To just hold the point with as minimal stuff as he wants. Also, I should actually go over for stuff in trucks. Let's say we've got boys, beast boys, some Gretchen boys, and boys, okay? Say this is the Gretchen truck, right? He brings these up here. That way, if it blows up, he still spills out 10 Gretchen and they can start taking the point. He's got these ones over here to help screen out this, and this truck is just going to be boys here that can help go kill whatever takes this, if anything, right? So, what have we done? We have pure strains that were maybe on the line or just behind the building with this Reductus Saboteur. They've moved up, okay? Now, the Saboteur's job is to grenade strat this and to blow it up with a demo charge. If she doesn't, that's still fine, okay? We have guys here. Oh, these two are meant to be over here. We have guys here with crack grenades that can still shoot into here and blow this up, right? So, say this blows up, a bunch of Gretchen spill out. Where are we? We're over here. Boom. What does this do? Why are we here and why are we set up? Just say we put a bunch on the point. We don't have to really do it right now, okay? We have this Ridge Runner here to where he's towed just a little bit over to where even if they just set Gretchen right here, I'll be able to shoot them with my Heavy Stubber and mortars can go somewhere else. This is going to give us +1 AP on some of our shooting, right? I'm not looking for that into the Gretchen. Basically, how they are right now, when they pop out, when this shoots, every failed shot is a dead guy, right? So, we shoot him, open him up with this, and then the pure strains can come here, charge this, and then maybe even be right here and help screen out the return charge from these boys right here, right? Still probably going to have it to where they can get out and charge the Reductus. That's fine. It's perfectly okay if we lose her here. What we're keeping alive is we're keeping this Ridge Runner alive, and we're keeping these Neophytes alive, right? Because this truck is here, they only at max have a threat range of, I believe it's 18. I want to say it's 18, might be 19, I forget. So even here, it's a little bit of a struggle because they got to come out and go around. Now, other things. Say he moved the Squig Hog boys up as a low counter charge. All right, fantastic. What I've seen is maybe he didn't properly screen out his home deployment, right? Real quick, guys, if you're playing against GSC, if you're playing GSC, there's a real easy way to screen out home deployments, okay? Or any objective marker. If your base is smaller than 40 millimeters, the size of the base, you cannot screen me out. There is a point to where I am more than 3 inches away, 3.1 away, yet I'm still touching it. However, if say he had a Runthard here, okay, or is Runthard 40? Either way, if you have 40 or even bigger, like say your truck here, okay, you drop that there, boom, you have it screened out. I can't take the point from you. Fantastic. For this scenario, we live in Lala Golden Lands. GSC always wins. It's fantastic. We take this point. What we're going to do, we're going to pop a perfect ambush here, okay? I have 5 hand flamers that are going to go into these Gretchen and absolutely pick them up. Just decimate them, right? The demo charges are going to go into these boys, these Squig Hog boys. Now, if it's a wall turn, probably not going to kill all of them because of the invuln. If it isn't a wall turn, they don't have an invuln, you're going to be at AP3, you're going to start killing these guys, right? It's going to be rough. if you want, this is also a really good scenario to where I think the Primus is good for the Acolytes. A lot of top players will say you go Acolytes first and then Neophytes or Primuses. I'm of the other opinion to where you go Neophytes and then Acolytes. Kind of personal preference. Both sides have been putting up results, okay? So, we have these guys drop. They're going to kill two things, and if we live in Magical Christmas Land, they're also going to take this point. Now, personally, I like to tell my opponent, hey, if you just put run third here, if you're having this point be on the point, then I can't take it, just letting you know. I don't like to win off of gotchas. I like to win because I played better. And I think that's what everyone should kind of strive for. I don't, if things were unknown, I like to give run backs. Now, so we have these guys cleared off. Say we don't take the point, right? But we've still gotten value because we've chunked at minimum this Squig Hog unit. If we need to, this unit right here is serving multiple purposes along with the Aberrants, but the key thing right here is these Neophytes. Now, what I'm wanting to do is this truck was blown up by all the stuff that I have here, and the Gretchen are going to be taken care of, right? But I still have this truck that wants to countercharge me. All right, fantastic. I can start to at least do some type of damage. I might not kill it, but I've seen a lot of times to where we've got a Neophyte squad here. It's probably going to kill the truck. That's going to leave 10 boys right here. They're suddenly not as fast. They might not get to the Reductus anymore. That's huge. That's going to be a massive swing. And then if they say, oh, I'm not going to kill these. I want to kill these Neophytes more, right? Or maybe Mazrog says, hello, I would like to come kill these guys. I go, fantastic. And what do? I pull the string. Pull the string. He kills them. They don't have enough attacks to kill an entire 20-man. And I'm left with Neophytes and my two characters, a Primus and a Nexos, right? I'm left with good enough stuff to where I can come back. I'm on a point. You know, I'm strung back here. I'm helping myself get CP. I'm at least bringing back all of my seismic cannons, dropping them and shooting again, or going into deep strike, bringing only 3 seismic cannons back. It's fine. What I've also done though is by doing this, I've made it to where Mazrog is screened and just generally out of distance of getting this Neophyte squad. Now, this Neophyte squad, I had set it up to where these seismic cannons can also go take care of this truck. I might activate them beforehand, you know, have these grenade launchers shoot into the truck to help take care of them. These seismics go weaken up this truck. That way, maybe some of these guns over here can go shoot and maybe take out another Squig Hog. Who cares? Get that guy out of here. It doesn't super matter. What I'm doing right now, though, is I'm layering out my guns to where I'm able to feel out where my damage lacks. So say I roll a 1 for amount of shots for Reductus Saboteur. 4 shots on a demo charge probably isn't going to kill a truck. Okay, now I know I need to put more stuff over here, so this unit will activate the kill here, and we really need to secure this flank, so these guns are going to go shoot this truck, right? Cool. It's about just layering everything to where you just have redundancy in your damage. Now, say it happens to where, you know, Maz is here, this truck blows up, there's 10 boys right here. Boys, come be boys. Cool. Fantastic. There's some Gretchen here, right? In no way are they able to come over here and get these Neophytes. This little squad I've got right here. It's 4 grenade launchers right here. We're strung with all the guns that aren't really going to do any major shooting. And then the Neophytes with the seismic cannons right here. Now, if I want, my opponent does a bunch of stuff. He countercharges me, all that. I can pick this squad up, and now I can bring it over here next turn. And I can go have him do damage and be an absolute menace. I can have my main Nexos squad. Maybe I swap these to where Nexos is actually in this unit. It doesn't super matter. But I can have this unit go harass somewhere else. These are the two squads that I'm picking up, right? Both neophyte squads. Say these aberrants also come over here. They get into the truck. I pile in to get a couple guys into the squigs, and it's just a mess over here, right? Moz can come over here. I'll have a bunch of boys coming to come kill them. But I've secured this flank, right? Everything I've done, I know it's a mess, forgive me. Everything I've done has been to secure this point and have aberrants on this point, because aberrants demand a response. They say, hey, you need to dedicate more than my points value to fucking kill me. So we're gonna have boys come out. We're gonna get these guys right here. From what I understand of their movement range, boys aren't able to get to these neophytes, right? So they'll probably go deal with the aberrants. Maybe the truck sits here. This beast boss might come over here to go help with these aberrants and all that. That's fine. Now we bring out acolytes to go kill something over here, maybe to deal with the beast boss or Mazrog, and these neophytes come here and take this. And boom, now we're here. Now we're continuing to do movements that take away from what our opponent can do, simply because we use these neophyte strings to protect other neophytes. Now you can do this with other units. You can do it with pure strains, like I was showing here. A lot of GSC units will take Catachans or Cadians and either Chimeras or Taurochs or stuff like that. That's a great strat as well. What I'm trying to get at is my main point here is that we're wanting to move block our opponent to where we can reuse our damage, right? Our damage, absolutely nuts. It's phenomenal, right? I want to keep using it. I want to shoot with neophytes every day of the fucking week. That personally, I would love that. Phenomenal, 10 out of 10. So I'm gonna try and make scenarios that will help myself do that, right? I want to help everything move along, to just have neophytes continue to shoot, to have them continue to move, go up. Maybe if it's a really wounded squad, I have them drop in a corner and I have them press a button, right? Maybe on this turn, on my turn 2, maybe I got signals and I don't want the Ridge Runner to come here, or I need his activation. Well, I'm going against orcs. They really don't have any shooting that matters. So maybe turn 2, I dropped acolytes here to go press the button, right? To go investigate signals over here, and then maybe something came and investigated over here. And at the end of my turn, I just say, all right, cool. These are picking back up, and then that way I can drop them 3 inches away from you the next turn, okay? Constantly using Return to Shadows, I feel, is one of the key things that is going to elevate players that are new to this army. And also finding ways to just be tricky to get out of engagement range and keep using Return to Shadows. One of the downfalls of GSC is if people touch you. If your 20-man Neophyte squad gets charged by a Rhino, that you are in a difficult fucking spot, right? It's gonna be very awkward to get that spot back. All of our squads, the Neophytes and the Acolytes are like 170, okay? Neophytes are 180, they're 270 if you have a Primus with them. God forbid you have a Nexus with them and they're 330. They're very expensive units. I want to keep using these units as much as possible in every situation that I can, and thusly I need to protect them. There are times to where I'll have unbuffed Neophyte squads. Fantastic. I sprint those at my fucking opponent. I am body blocking everything I fucking can. If I have a Neophyte squad and I have a Neophyte squad with a character, the first Neophyte squad over here is sacrificing everything they can to make sure that that character unit is okay. So, to give a quick synopsis of Scenario 3, Return to Shadows is one of our most important stratagems. It's going to allow us to do anything else. Our 3-inch Deep Strike Tunnel Crawlers is also one of our most important stratagems. It's how you deny primary. It's how you get into scenarios to where you're getting the most value for all of our different gun profiles, okay? It's where you're stealing 2 to 3 points or you're move blocking an entire army. And then a perfect ambush. +1 bliss skill, +1 AP. It's clean, it's simple, Kingdom Hearts, phenomenal, fantastic. Listen, it is something that is going to elevate your damage to just be absolutely ridiculous. If I know that my acolytes are going into something, and it's something to where they have blast, I generally won't even put a Primus with them because they'll just have the amount of shots. Half of them are hitting. I'm rolling on ones, so it's a little bit more than half, but not exactly. You know, it's not as if I was hitting on threes. It's still phenomenal. The damage output is insane. Into neophytes, if I shoot with seismic and I shoot with shotguns and I shoot with cracks, that is 52 shots that I'm getting +1 to hit and +1 AP. After a while, you're just gonna start with the bucket of dice philosophy. With the bucket of dice thought process, you're just gonna start hitting. You're just gonna start wounding, and your opponent's just gonna start failing saves. Okay, they could be making 2-ups all day. Say you're just poured in shotguns into them, right? Eventually they're gonna roll ones, and if you make them roll 100 dice, they're gonna roll a lot of ones. So remember that going forward. Your damage might not be the greatest, it might not be the best in the world, but you've got 300 to 400 shots a turn. Okay, maybe not a turn, but over the course of a game, it is a bewildering amount of shots. Things that can counter us, of course, is -1 damage or half damage, like Katans. Okay, I'll go fuck myself. Redemptor Treads, I'll go fuck myself. Yeah, that's basically it. Dark Angels as well, but and then let me see, is there anything else that we really suffer into? I would keep a watch out for trickier matchup like Grey Knights or Hypercrypt Necrons. Those are the times to where my brain just hurts thinking about that kind of stuff. I can do another video if this is something that you guys like. I can do another video to where we're kind of going over more in depth of specific matchups. But as far as just the basics here, I think we've covered everything today. Prioritizing a perfect ambush, which I would say, if you're dropping with acolytes, if they don't have a Primus, always reserve a perfect ambush for them. If you've got a Nexus, then of course use it afterwards. Always be using go to ground if your opponent ever shoots you while you have a Nexus squad. Reductus Saboteurs are probably one of our most valuable units because they are so versatile. And they can be outside of range, they can punish your opponent for coming to you, they can just take out big stuff on their own. A demo charge that hits on 2s is nuts. Rapid Ingress is your best friend. I didn't talk about it, but Aberrant's Rapid Ingressing, if they're led by a Biophagus, you have sustained and lethal hits on 30 attacks at 823. That's, oh god. God forbid it's like going into wardens that are like, you can only wound me on 4s, and you say, that's hilarious, anti-infantry 2-up, please die. Rapid ingressing acolytes as well can help, one with just freeing up your tunnel crawlers. Turn 2 and turn 3, a lot of it is just, hey, acolytes are going to come outside of 3 inches. If I went first and I've got some extra CP because I didn't really do much turn 1, I might actually rapid ingress an acolyte squad, just so that I can be annoying with a neophyte squad and do a big screen to lock in someone there. I can show that in another video, and just really try and put a stress on your opponent's resources, right? Make them have to commit to do stuff they don't want to do. And in the scenario we're talking about here, right? So we talked about how they can come to handle all of these threats, right? What would have been here to come for these acolytes, right? Maybe the truck comes and they do a little bit of shooting, but they need to dedicate something to deal with this. Otherwise, these acolytes are going to sit on their backfield the entire game, right? It's doing stuff to where you're sacrificing idiot guys who aren't worth their points that your opponent doesn't want to kill and just wasting the resources they have. So I feel like I've been rambling a little bit at the end, so I'm gonna cut it here. I hope this is helpful. I hope that you're able to understand Genestealer Cults a little bit more. It's a very tricky faction. It's weird. I don't think it plays like any of the other factions. That's why it's my favorite. I've played, God, at this point, I think I've just about had every faction at one point or another be my second army that I just didn't like, so I would trade it in, and you know, with store credit from winning RTs or GTs, you just get a different one. I just love it. I love GSC. I have a passion for this faction. If you want to know more, you can always ask me either in the comments, you can hop into the chats whenever I'm live. Another great place to find me and talk about this is the official GSC Discord. I should find a link and put it somewhere. If I have, it will probably be in the description. I'm there a lot helping people under Nexos Floof. You also have other much better and more experienced GSC players than I in there helping as well. And we can help take your games to the next level. So that's all I've got for today. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was good. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.